Welcome to True Information Network, where facts matter. Today we're counting down the 10 poorest countries in the world, exploring why they're poor, what life looks like for people there, and what's being done to help. Stay with us. Poorest is usually measured by GDP per capita, often adjusted for purchasing power parity. Different sources and years give slightly different rankings. But most lists put the same countries at the bottom because of conflict, weak institutions, climate shocks, and poor infrastructure. Alright, let's start the countdown. Subscribe the True Information Network to stay updated. Number 10. Madagascar. This large island nation off Africa's east coast faces chronic poverty because of recurring cyclones, poor roads, limited access to markets, and low industrialization. Agriculture is the main livelihood, but climate shocks and soil degradation limit yields. The result? Many people live on very low per capita incomes and face food insecurity. Number 9. Liberia. Decades of civil war and then fragile recovery left Liberia with weak infrastructure, limited public services, and dependence on extractive industries. While there's natural resource wealth, governance and investment challenges keep per capita incomes low and many Liberians in poverty. Number 8. Somalia. Long-term conflict, a collapsed central government for long periods, recurring drought, and limited public services have driven extreme poverty and humanitarian crises. Large parts of the country rely on pastoralism and informal trade, making recovery fragile. Number 7. Democratic Republic of the Congo. Despite huge mineral wealth, the DRC suffers from decades of conflict, weak institutions, and poor infrastructure. So resources rarely translate into broad prosperity. Large rural populations, poor roads, and localized violence make delivering services and jobs difficult. Number 6. Malawi. A highly agrarian economy with limited industrial base. Malawi faces food insecurity, recurring shocks, and low levels of investment in infrastructure and education. All drivers of persistent poverty. Number 5. Mozambique. Rich in natural gas and with growing ports, Mozambique still faces extremely low incomes in many regions because of weak infrastructure, vulnerability to cyclones, and pockets of conflict, especially in the north, that disrupt development. Number 4. Yemen. Since 2014-2015, Yemen has been mired in a brutal civil conflict that collapsed public services and the economy. The war created one of the world's worst humanitarian crises. Widespread displacement, hunger, and collapsed infrastructure have driven poverty through the roof. Number 3. Central African Republic. Persistent insecurity, weak governance, and isolation have kept CAR's economy very small. Most people survive on subsistence agriculture and informal trade, and public services are severely limited. Number 2. Burundi. Small, densely populated, and overwhelmingly dependent on subsistence farming. Burundi struggles with political instability, poor infrastructure, and limited economic diversification, leaving its GDP per capita among the world's lowest. Number 1. South Sudan, frequently listed as the poorest country by per capita measures. Despite oil reserves, ongoing conflicts since independence, displacement, and collapsed services have caused one of the lowest GDP per capita rates globally. Widespread hunger, limited access to healthcare, and destroyed infrastructure make recovery extremely difficult. So what do these countries have in common? 4 big themes recur. 1. Conflict and political instability, which destroys institutions and discourages investment. 2. Climate vulnerability. Cyclones, droughts that hit farming-dependent economies. 3. Weak infrastructure and services, roads, health, education. And 4. Economic concentration, resource dependence or subsistence agriculture that doesn't create widespread jobs. International aid, debt pressures, and low tax bases make public investment very hard. Remember, behind every statistic are real people. Farmers, parents, children. Numbers alone don't capture resilience, local solutions, or progress molecules like school programs, vaccination drives, and small business initiatives that do help. Organizations like the World Bank, UN agencies, and many NGOs are working on infrastructure, health, and resilience. If you want to help, support reputable charities, learn about fair trade, and follow trustworthy news so you can advocate for policies that reduce poverty. If you found this helpful, like, subscribe, And hit the bell for more data-driven explainers from True Information Network. Which country should we profile next? Tell us in the comments.